While you sleep tonight, something in your bedroom is sabotaging your destiny. It's not a thief, it's not bad luck, it's not even your fault. It's objects. Objects that you placed there yourself, thinking they were harmless, decorative, or simply useful. But every single night while your body rests and your soul ascends to the heavenly realms, as our sages teach happens during sleep, these objects are sending signals to the universe. Signals of scarcity. Signals of spiritual blockage. Signals that literally repel the blessings that Hashem has prepared for you. Your bedroom isn't just where you sleep. According to ancient Jewish wisdom preserved in the Talmud and Kabbalah for over 2,000 years, your bedroom is a mikdash me'at, a miniature sanctuary. It's the most intimate space in your home, the place where you spend 1/3 of your entire life. It's where your neshama, your soul, is most exposed, most receptive, most vulnerable to the spiritual influences surrounding it. What you keep in your bedroom programs you every single night. And if you have the wrong objects there, you're being programmed for poverty, for blocked blessings, for spiritual disconnection from the flow of divine abundance that is your birthright as a child of the Most High. Today, I'm going to reveal 7 specific things that you must remove from your bedroom immediately. Not tomorrow, not next week, tonight. Because every night you sleep surrounded by these objects is another night of negative programming that you'll have to work to reverse. Before we continue, I need you to do something essential. Write right now in the comments, "I cleanse my bedroom and open space for divine abundance." This act of writing it is your first declaration of kavanah, of intention. It's telling the universe, telling Hashem, that you're ready to make the necessary changes. The rabbis teach us that speaking our intentions gives them power in both the physical and spiritual realms. If you want to keep discovering secrets like this to transform your space and align with prosperity consciousness that has sustained the Jewish people through millennia of challenges, subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, and activate the notification bell. Now, prepare yourself, because what you're about to discover could explain many of the struggles you've faced without understanding why. Stay until the very end, because the 7th object is the most dangerous of all. It's present in over 80% of bedrooms, and almost nobody suspects the damage it causes. I'm also going to tell you the story of Sarah, a woman who for 23 years slept surrounded by these objects without knowing it. When she finally removed them, what happened in the following weeks left her entire family astonished. Her income doubled, her chronic insomnia vanished, and opportunities that had been blocked for decades suddenly opened. But first, let me explain to you why your bedroom holds such extraordinary power over your prosperity. Your bedroom is different from any other space in your home, and there are deep spiritual and practical reasons for this. First, there's the factor of time. You spend approximately 8 hours every night in your bedroom. That's 1/3 of your life, more time than you spend anywhere else, including your workplace. Second, there's the factor of vulnerability. When you sleep, according to the Zohar, the primary text of Jewish mysticism, your soul literally ascends to the upper worlds to be recharged and to stand before the divine throne. Your conscious defenses are completely deactivated. Your critical mind, the one that filters information during the day, is asleep. Your subconscious remains exposed, absorbing everything around it without any filter whatsoever. Third, there's the factor of programming. During sleep, especially during the deep phases and REM sleep, your brain processes information, forms memories, establishes patterns. What surrounds you during this process directly influences which patterns are strengthened and which are weakened. Ancient traditions from around the world understood this. In Chinese feng shui, the bedroom is considered the most important space in the home because it's where we regenerate our qi, our vital energy. A poorly configured bedroom drains that energy instead of restoring it. In Jewish tradition, the bedroom has special sanctity. The Talmud teaches that the Shekinah, the divine presence, rests in a home where there is shalom bayit, peace between husband and wife, and that peace is cultivated in the bedroom. The great Kabbalists of Safed in the 16th century had specific practices about what could and could not be in the sleeping space. These weren't empty superstitions. They were observations accumulated through generations of spiritual practice and divine revelation. Modern science is beginning to validate this ancient wisdom. Studies on sleep show that the bedroom environment directly affects the quality of rest, cortisol levels, the capacity to make good decisions, and yes, even financial success. Because financial success isn't just about working hard, it's about making wise decisions. It's about seeing opportunities that others miss. It's about having the energy to act when the moment arrives. And all of that depends on how you sleep and what surrounds you while you sleep. Let me tell you Sarah's story. Sarah is now 56 years old. She lives in a medium-sized city and worked her entire life as an accountant for small businesses. Sarah was always a tireless worker. She arrived early, left late, did her work with impeccable dedication. But despite all that effort, she never truly prospered. Her salary was always low for her experience. Promotions passed her by. Raises were minimal. And every time something good seemed about to happen, something went wrong at the last moment. But the strangest thing wasn't that. The strangest thing was how Sarah felt every morning. She woke up exhausted. After 8 hours of sleep, she felt as if she hadn't rested at all. She had frequent headaches. Her energy during the day was minimal. And at night, although she collapsed into bed, her sleep was restless, filled with disturbing dreams. Sarah attributed all of this to work stress, to age, to life. She never thought her bedroom could have anything to do with it. Until one day, a friend who studied Kabbalah and Jewish mysticism came to visit her. The friend entered Sarah's bedroom and stopped dead in her tracks. She looked around with a worried expression. "Sarah," she said, "how long have you been sleeping in this bedroom like this?" Sarah didn't understand the question. "Like this? It's always been this way." The friend shook her head slowly. "You have at least 5 things here that are draining your spiritual energy and blocking your prosperity. Do you want me to show you what they are?" What her friend revealed that day changed Sarah's life forever. After removing the problematic objects and reorganizing her bedroom according to ancient Jewish principles, Sarah experienced changes she never would have imagined possible. In the first week, she began waking up rested for the first time in years. In the first month, her boss called her to offer a raise she'd been requesting without success. In the first 3 months, she received a job offer from another company with a significantly higher salary. "I slept for 23 years in a bedroom that was sabotaging me," Sarah told me when she shared her story. 23 years of rest that wasn't rest. 23 years of negative programming while I slept. When I finally cleansed my space according to the wisdom our ancestors preserved, it was like waking up from a nightmare I didn't know I was living. Do you want to know what those objects were? Let's look at them one by one. The first object you must remove from your bedroom, or at least reposition, is any mirror that reflects your bed while you sleep. In Jewish mystical tradition, mirrors are energetically very active objects. They reflect, they duplicate, they amplify. The Zohar teaches that mirrors can capture and hold spiritual imprints. During the day, this can be neutral or even positive. But during the night, when you sleep and your soul ascends, it becomes a serious problem. When a mirror reflects your bed, it's duplicating your energy throughout the entire night. Sounds good, right? More energy. But it's not that simple. During sleep, your body processes and releases dense energies. It's a natural part of the rest process. The rabbis teach that sleep is 1/60th of death, a mini-death where we release what no longer serves us. But if there's a mirror reflecting you, those energies you're releasing bounce back toward you. You reabsorb them instead of letting them go. Additionally, mirrors create a sensation of presence. Although you don't consciously notice it, your subconscious registers the reflection as someone else in the room. This keeps a part of your nervous system on alert, preventing deep rest. In feng shui traditions, which share remarkable similarities with Kabbalah regarding energy flow, mirrors in the bedroom reflecting the bed are considered one of the most serious mistakes. They're said to drain the vital energy of the sleeper and can cause problems in relationships, poor health, and yes, financial difficulties. Sarah had a large mirror on her wardrobe, directly facing her bed. For 23 years, that mirror reflected her every night. Every night, her energy bounced back instead of being released. When she covered the mirror at night with a beautiful cloth, removing it in the morning, the changes began immediately. What should you do? If you have a mirror that reflects your bed, you have options. You can move it to a position where it doesn't reflect the bed. You can cover it at night with a lovely fabric, or you can remove it from the bedroom completely. The option you choose depends on your space, but the nocturnal reflection must be eliminated. The second object, or rather group of objects, that you must remove from your bedroom are electronic devices that remain on during the night. Televisions, computers, tablets, phones charging, even digital clocks with bright screens. All of these emit what's called electromagnetic pollution. Science has documented how electromagnetic fields affect our bodies. They can interfere with the production of melatonin, the sleep hormone. They can keep the brain in states of mild alertness even during sleep. They can affect heart rate and blood pressure. But beyond the physical, there's an energetic component that our sages understood long before modern technology existed. The principle is this: anything that connects you to the external world prevents your soul from fully ascending during sleep. Electronic devices are portals of constant information. Even turned off, they maintain an energetic connection with the outside world. Pending emails, unread messages, news to watch. Your subconscious knows they're there, waiting for your attention. This constant connection prevents your mind from truly resting. Part of you is always online, always available, always ready to respond. And that part doesn't rest, even though the rest of you sleeps. In Jewish thought, sleep is meant to be a return to the source, a temporary disconnection from the physical world to reconnect with the spiritual. These devices prevent that sacred disconnection. Sarah had her phone charging on her nightstand, centimeters from her head. She also had a television in the bedroom that she left on standby. Two constant sources of electromagnetic and energetic interference. What should you do? Ideally, remove all electronic devices from your bedroom. If you need your phone as an alarm, put it in airplane mode and place it at least 2 meters from your bed. If you have a television in the bedroom, unplug it completely at night. Standby mode still consumes energy and emits electromagnetic fields. Consider changing digital clocks for analog ones. The difference you'll notice in your rest will surprise you. Now, I want to pause here for a moment, because many of you are watching this and thinking, this is fascinating, but is there more I can learn about Jewish prosperity wisdom? There is, much more. The principles I'm sharing today are just the surface of thousands of years of wealth consciousness that has sustained the Jewish people through every imaginable challenge. In the pinned comment below, I've left a link to a free resource, 15 Jewish Wealth Codes, Enrichment Strategies of the Jewish People. This compilation reveals prosperity principles that go far beyond bedroom arrangement, touching on money, business, giving, and spiritual alignment with abundance. Check the link in the first pinned comment after we finish this teaching. The third object is emotionally delicate, but I must mention it because it's one of the most problematic. Many people have photographs of deceased loved ones in their bedrooms. They do it out of love, out of memory, to feel that person is still close. And I completely understand that impulse. Losing someone dear is painful, and keeping their image nearby can feel comforting. But the bedroom is not the place for these photographs, and Jewish tradition is very clear about this. Photographs of deceased people carry a very specific energy. The energy of the past, of what no longer is, of loss. And that energy, although it comes accompanied by love, is the energy of completion, not growth. The Kabbalists teach that images of the departed can create spiritual openings that are not appropriate for a space of rest and regeneration. When you sleep surrounded by images of the past, of people who have already departed, your subconscious receives a constant message: look backward. And when your mental orientation is toward the past, your capacity to attract future abundance is reduced. The rabbis teach us that we honor the dead through memory and righteous action, not through constant dwelling that prevents us from living fully. Additionally, there's a more subtle energetic component. Some traditions believe that photographs of the deceased can act as portals that maintain a connection with the world of the departed. Regardless of your beliefs about this, That connection can affect the quality of your rest. Sarah had a large photograph of her deceased father on her dresser, directly visible from her bed. For years, it was the last thing she saw before sleeping, and the first thing she saw upon waking. When she moved that photograph to the living room, where she could see it during the day but not while sleeping, she noticed an immediate change in her dreams. They stopped being heavy and melancholic. What should you do? I'm not saying you should get rid of photographs of your deceased loved ones. Those memories are valuable and deserve to be honored. But move them out of the bedroom. Place them in the living room, in a hallway, in a place where you can see them and remember during the day. But your space of rest should be oriented toward life, toward the future, toward growth. This is what the sages meant when they taught that we sanctify life by living it fully, not by dwelling in what is past. Plants seem like a positive addition to any space. Their life, their nature, their greenery. How could they be problematic? In most spaces of the home, plants are wonderful. But the bedroom has special rules that our ancestors understood through observation and spiritual insight. First, there are plants with thorns, like cacti. In Feng Shui, which shares the Jewish understanding of energy flow in the home, thorns are considered poison arrows that emit cutting energy. During the day, when you're alert, you can handle this energy. But during the night, when you're vulnerable, and your soul is partially departed from your body as the Zohar teaches, that cutting energy can affect your spiritual field negatively. Second, there are large plants or numerous plants that compete for oxygen. During the night, plants perform cellular respiration, consuming oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide. If you have many plants in a closed bedroom, they're literally competing with you for oxygen while you sleep. Third, plants are living beings with their own energy. That energy, although natural, can be stimulating. And in a space of rest, too much stimulation, even natural stimulation, can interfere with sleep quality. The Jewish home is meant to balance energy carefully. We bring in what enhances sanctity and remove what disturbs it, even if those disturbances seem benign. Sarah had 3 cacti on the windowsill of her bedroom. She thought they were perfect because they required little care. She didn't know those thorns were pointing toward her every night, creating subtle energetic disturbance. What should you do? If you have plants with thorns in your bedroom, move them to another space. Cacti are perfect for offices, living rooms, or outdoors, not for bedrooms. If you want to have plants in your bedroom, choose small plants without thorns that purify the air instead of competing for oxygen. Lavender, for example, can aid sleep, but even these plants should be few and small. We've covered 4 objects, and you're probably already doing a mental inventory of your bedroom. I want you to write in the comments how many of these 4 objects you currently have in your bedroom. Your honesty can help others who are in the same situation. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this is the perfect moment. Activate the notification bell so you don't miss any video about transforming your space and attracting the blessings Hashem has prepared for you. Now let's move to the 5th object. This is one of the most common and most damaging mistakes. Many people use the space under the bed for storage. Boxes with old clothes, suitcases, documents, objects they don't know where else to put. Seems practical, right? You're taking advantage of space that would otherwise be empty. But energetically, it's a disaster. And Jewish wisdom has always recognized this. Think about this. You spend 8 hours every night floating, literally, above that space. Everything beneath you influences your energetic field during all that time. If beneath your bed there's clutter, you sleep on clutter. If there are old, forgotten objects, you sleep on stagnation. If there are things you avoid seeing during the day, your subconscious processes them during the night. The principle in Kabbalah is that energy must flow freely around us, especially during sleep when we're most receptive. Ancient traditions are very clear about this. The space under the bed must be empty and clean. Energy flow must be able to circulate freely around you while you sleep. When you block that space with objects, you also block the flow of abundance, the flow of Shefa, divine bounty. It's like sleeping on a dam. Everything good that tries to reach you encounters an obstacle. Sarah had boxes with old documents under her bed. Paid bills from years ago, old contracts. papers that no longer had any use but that she'd never thrown away. She slept on stagnant bureaucracy every night. When she completely emptied the space under her bed and cleaned it thoroughly, she reported something curious. She felt the bed was more comfortable. She hadn't changed the mattress, but it felt different. The energy could finally flow. What should you do? Completely empty the space under your bed. Take everything out. What's useful, store it elsewhere. What's not useful, get rid of it. Clean the floor under the bed. Sweep, mop, eliminate accumulated dust. And keep that space empty. Resist the temptation to fill it again. Empty space isn't waste. It's flow. It's openness to divine blessing. This seems obvious, but I need to go deeper because it's not as simple as it appears. We all know a clean bedroom feels better than a messy one. But the impact goes far beyond aesthetics, and Jewish tradition has always understood the spiritual significance of order. Disorder represents spiritual confusion. The Torah begins with God bringing order to chaos, and we're called to imitate that divine act in our own lives and spaces. Dirty laundry accumulated in the bedroom emits a very specific energy. It's the energy of what's used, what's spent, what needs cleaning. When you sleep in a space with dirty laundry, your subconscious absorbs that energy of "I need cleaning." And that sensation of needing cleaning translates into a sensation of lack. Something's missing, something's incomplete, something needs attention. General disorder has a similar but amplified effect. Every object out of place is a small pending task. Every chaotic surface is an unmade decision. And your mind, even though it sleeps, continues registering those tasks, those decisions. That's why people who sleep in disordered bedrooms frequently wake up tired. Their mind never rested completely because it never stopped processing the disorder. But here comes something few mention. Disorder also attracts more disorder. And poverty, in a certain sense, is financial disorder. When your physical space is chaotic, your relationship with money tends to become chaotic as well. The rabbis teach that our external environment reflects our internal state, and our internal state shapes our external reality. It's a cycle that either elevates or degrades. Sarah wasn't a disorderly person, but she had the habit of leaving the day's clothes on a chair in her bedroom. "I'll put it away tomorrow," she thought. But tomorrow she'd add more clothes, and the chair became a mountain. That mountain of clothes on the chair was the first thing she saw upon waking. Before her day even began, she already had a pending task staring at her. What should you do? Establish an absolute rule. Dirty laundry goes immediately to the hamper, which ideally shouldn't be in the bedroom but in the bathroom or laundry room. Before sleeping, dedicate 5 minutes to ordering your bedroom. Everything in its place. Surfaces clear. It's a closing ritual for the day that will prepare your mind for rest and signal to the universe that you value order and are ready to receive blessings in an orderly way. And every morning, make your bed. This simple act, taught by Jewish mothers for generations, starts your day with a completed task, a small success that establishes the tone for the rest of the day. The sages teach that small disciplines create large transformations. Now we come to the sixth object, and this is where many of you will feel uncomfortable, because this mistake is so widespread in our modern world. We live in an era where work invades all spaces. With laptops, smartphones, and remote work, it's easy for the bedroom to become an extension of the office. But having work in your bedroom is one of the greatest saboteurs of prosperity that exists, and I want to explain why from both a practical and a spiritual perspective. When there are work documents, laptops, project folders, or any material related to your employment in your bedroom, you're creating energetic confusion. The bedroom is for rest, for the soul's ascent, for regeneration. Work is for production, for effort, for engagement with the material world. When you mix both in the same space, neither functions correctly. You don't rest well because work is present. You don't work well because the space has rest energy. The boundaries that should exist become blurred. But there's something more specific about financial documents that I must mention, and this comes directly from Kabbalistic understanding of money as energy. Many people keep bills, account statements, debt documents in their bedrooms, perhaps because that's where they have their desk, or simply because that's where they ended up. Sleeping next to documents that represent debts is sleeping next to energy of obligation, of deficit, of lack. Your subconscious processes those documents throughout the entire night. And when you wake up, you're already carrying the weight of those obligations before the day even begins. The rabbis teach that the first thoughts of the morning set the tone for the entire day. If your first sight is bills and debt, what tone are you setting? One of scarcity, not abundance. Sarah had converted a corner of her bedroom into a small office. She had her computer, her work folders, and all her financial documents there. She went from working to sleeping with no transition whatsoever. Every night she slept meters away from her pending bills, her work obligations, her financial worries, and she wondered why she couldn't rest. When she moved all work material and financial documents to another room, creating clear separation between her work life and her rest life, the change was dramatic. For the first time in years, her bedroom was only for sleeping, and her sleep improved immediately. Her anxiety decreased. Her ability to make clear decisions during the day increased. What should you do? Remove all work material from your bedroom. If you live in a small space and have no other option, at least create a physical separation. A screen, a curtain, something that delimits workspace from rest space. The principle is Havdalah, separation. The same principle we enact every week between Shabbat and the weekdays. We separate the sacred from the mundane, rest from work. Financial documents, especially those representing debts or obligations, must be stored outside the bedroom, in a filing cabinet, in another room, in a living room closet, wherever they won't be in your space of rest. Establish a rule. Nothing related to work enters the bedroom, and keep it. This boundary is sacred. It protects your rest, and your rest protects your prosperity. Before I reveal the seventh and most dangerous object, I want to remind you about that resource I mentioned earlier. The link in the first pinned comment below will take you to 15 Jewish wealth codes, enrichment strategies of the Jewish people. This isn't just theory. These are practical principles that have been tested across millennia, through exiles and triumphs, through poverty and prosperity. The Jewish people have survived and thrived by understanding spiritual laws of abundance that most of the world ignores. That resource is waiting for you in the pinned comment. Get it now, because the wisdom it contains could transform not just your bedroom, but your entire financial life. Now, the seventh object. This is the most dangerous and, tragically, the most common. I need you to pay very close attention because what I'm about to reveal is present in the vast majority of bedrooms, and most people have absolutely no idea of the spiritual damage it's causing. The seventh object that's blocking your prosperity, draining your spiritual energy, and programming you for scarcity every single night is this: the color black, or any dark, heavy colors in dominant positions in your bedroom. You might be thinking, wait, a color? How can a color block prosperity? Let me explain from both the mystical Jewish tradition and modern science, and you'll understand why this is so critical. In Kabbalah, colors are not just visual phenomena. They're frequencies, spiritual energies that affect our neshama, our soul. Each color corresponds to different sephirot, different divine emanations. Black, in Kabbalistic understanding, represents the complete absence of light. It's the color of din, severe judgment, of contraction rather than expansion. It's associated with the lowest levels of spiritual reality, the place where divine light is most hidden. Now, this doesn't make black evil. In the right context, black has its place. It represents boundaries, definition, the necessary contraction that allows creation to occur. But in a bedroom, where you sleep and your soul ascends to receive divine light and blessing, black creates a spiritual environment that repels that very light. The Zohar teaches that during sleep, our souls ascend through various spiritual realms, and the environment we sleep in either facilitates or obstructs that ascent. When you surround yourself with black, with the color that represents divine hiddenness, you're creating spiritual resistance to that ascent. Your soul struggles to rise, struggles to receive the blessings and insights that come during sleep. Let me tell you what happened to David. David was a businessman who for 15 years struggled despite working harder than anyone he knew. His bedroom had black sheets, black curtains, a black bedspread, even black painted walls because he thought it looked modern and sophisticated. He was sleeping in spiritual darkness every single night. A rabbi who visited his home took one look at the bedroom and said, "My friend, you're trying to grow a garden in the dark. No wonder nothing blooms." David changed everything. He painted the walls white, bought light blue sheets reminiscent of the tallit, the prayer shawl, and brought in warm golden lighting. Within 2 months, he closed a business deal that had been stalled for 3 years. Within 6 months, his income had doubled. "I thought colors didn't matter," he told me. "I thought it was just decoration. I didn't understand I was programming my subconscious and my soul every night for spiritual darkness." Modern science supports this ancient wisdom. Studies show that dark colors in the bedroom environment can increase depression, reduce sleep quality, and even affect our perception of possibility and opportunity. Our brains respond to environmental cues even while we sleep. Dark environments trigger stress responses, feelings of confinement, sensations of threat. Light environments trigger feelings of openness, safety, possibility. So what should you have instead? Jewish wisdom points to 4 sacred colors for the bedroom, colors that attract divine blessing and prosperity. First, blue, the color of the tallit, the prayer shawl. Blue represents chesed, loving kindness, and expansiveness. It's the color of the heavens, the color associated with the Shekinah, the feminine presence of God that rests in the home. When you surround yourself with blue in your bedroom, you're inviting that divine presence. Second, white, the color of purity, of infinite possibility, of the highest divine light. White represents mercy without any mixture of judgment. It creates a sense of spaciousness and safety. When you wake in a bright, clean room, your brain interprets the environment as open and resourceful, rather than cramped and threatened. White walls, white linens, white surfaces all create an energetic foundation for abundance to enter. Third, gold or warm yellow tones. This represents the divine light, the glow of the menorah, the shimmer of Shabbat candles, the warmth of a home filled with presence and peace. When you bring warm golden light into your bedroom, especially in the hour before sleep, you're signaling to your body and your soul that this is a place of abundance, not scarcity. Research shows that exposure to warm light in the evening supports melatonin production and deeper sleep. Fourth, soft greens, the color of growth, of life, of the natural world that Hashem created for our benefit. Green represents balance between mercy and judgment, the middle path. Small touches of green, whether in a plant without thorns or in decorative elements, remind us that we're part of a living, growing creation, not stuck in stagnation. What you must do immediately is assess your bedroom. If you have black sheets, black curtains, black furniture as dominant elements, you need to make changes. I'm not saying you must throw everything away tonight, but begin the process. Start with the sheets, because you're in direct contact with them every night. Replace black with white, with light blue, with soft colors that invite light rather than repel it. If you have dark walls, consider repainting. If that's not possible right now, bring in lighter elements. White bedding, light-colored throws, lamps with warm golden bulbs. The goal is to shift the dominant energy from darkness to light, from contraction to expansion, from judgment to mercy. You're not just redecorating, you're restructuring the spiritual architecture of the space where you spend 1/3 of your life. Now that you know all 7 objects, let me tell you how Sarah's story concluded. After her friend's visit, Sarah spent an entire weekend transforming her bedroom. On Saturday, she removed the problematic objects. She covered the wardrobe mirror with an elegant cloth that she removed in the mornings and replaced at night. She took the television completely out of the bedroom and began charging her phone in the kitchen. She moved her father's photograph to a place of honor in the living room. She relocated the cacti to her office. She completely emptied the space under her bed and cleaned it thoroughly. On Sunday, she reorganized what remained. She moved all her work and financial documents to the small room she used as storage. She established a system so dirty, laundry went directly to the hamper in the bathroom. And here's what sealed the transformation. She changed her black bedding for white sheets and a light blue duvet cover. She brought in a lamp with a warm golden bulb. She opened the curtains to let in natural light during the day. She added only elements that promoted rest. Curtains that blocked light well at night, clean linens in soft colors, a small Himalayan salt lamp that glowed gently. That first night in her transformed bedroom, Sarah slept 9 hours straight. She didn't remember the last time she'd slept like that. In the first week, the headaches she'd had for years disappeared. In the first month, she received the raise she'd requested without success for 3 years. In the first 3 months, she was offered a job at another company with a 40% higher salary. "My life changed when I changed where I slept," Sarah told me. "I can't believe I spent 23 years sabotaging myself without knowing it. Every night those objects were programming me for scarcity. When I removed them, when I brought in the sacred colors and cleared the energetic blocks, abundance finally had space to enter. It's like I'd been trying to receive blessings with closed hands, and I finally opened them." Sarah isn't an isolated case. There's Miriam, a widow of 61 who carried her deceased husband's presence in her bedroom for 8 years after his passing. Photographs everywhere, his clothes still in the closet, his personal objects untouched. When Miriam, with much pain but also much determination, moved the photographs to the living room and donated her husband's clothing and objects, something was released in her. "I was sleeping with a ghost," Miriam admits. "Not literally, but energetically. When I let his physical presence leave the bedroom, I could finally start living my own life again." In the following year, Miriam resumed social activities, started a small baking business from home, and her financial situation improved significantly. She honored her husband's memory in a healthy way, visiting his grave, saying Kaddish, performing acts of charity in his name. But her bedroom became, once again, a space for life and future, not a shrine to the past. There's Rabbi Goldstein's story. He's a scholar who spent years studying late into the night in his bedroom, surrounded by holy books, which seems appropriate. But he noticed that despite all his learning, Parnassa, livelihood, was always a struggle. A wise elder rabbi visited and said, "The bedroom is for rest, not study. Even holy activities have their proper place. Your neshama cannot fully ascend and receive blessings when you've turned your sleep space into a beat midrash." Rabbi Goldstein moved his study to another room, and within months, unexpected opportunities for teaching positions and book contracts began appearing. The principle is this: everything has its proper place and time. This is the wisdom of Ecclesiastes. To everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven. When we honor those boundaries, we align with divine order. When we violate them, even with good intentions, we create spiritual confusion that blocks blessing. Now let me give you a step-by-step plan to transform your bedroom according to these ancient principles. Step 1 is the inventory. This week, do an honest inventory of your bedroom. Walk through the space with the list of 7 objects in mind. Are there mirrors reflecting the bed? Are there electronic devices on during the night? Are there photographs of deceased people? Are there plants with thorns or too many plants? Are there objects accumulated under the bed? Is there dirty laundry or general disorder? Is there work material or financial documents? What are the dominant colors? Be honest. Don't justify. Just observe and record. This is Cheshbon Hanefesh, accounting of the soul, applied to your physical space. Step 2 is planning. For each problematic object you identified, decide what you'll do. Will you move it to another place in the house? Will you remove it from the house completely? Will you cover it or modify its position? Plan where each thing will go. Don't improvise because that creates disorder in other parts of the house. Intentionality is key. Step 3 is deep cleaning. Before reorganizing, clean the bedroom deeply. Move the furniture and clean underneath. Wash the curtains, change the sheets. Open the windows and let in fresh air and sunlight. This cleaning isn't just physical. While you clean, visualize that you're also removing stagnant energy, accumulated blockages, negative patterns. Some people like to say a brief prayer or Psalm 23 while cleaning. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," becomes not just words, but an energetic clearing. Step 4 is reorganization. Now remove the problematic objects and reorganize what remains. Create a space that invites rest, that invites the Shekinah, the divine presence. Soft colors, clear surfaces, only the essentials. Think of the Mishkan, the tabernacle in the desert. Every element had a purpose, and every element was beautiful. Your bedroom should reflect that same intentionality. Step 5 is sealing. Once your bedroom is transformed, perform a small ritual of sealing. Stand in the center of the bedroom. Breathe deeply 3 times. Say aloud or mentally, "This space is clean and protected. This is my sanctuary of rest and renewal. Only peace and abundance dwell here. Baruch Hashem, blessed is the name." Some people like to recite the Shema, or to place a drop of olive oil on the doorpost as an act of consecration. Step 6 is maintenance. A clean bedroom doesn't maintain itself. Establish daily routines. Make the bed every morning. 5 minutes of ordering every night before sleep. Dirty laundry immediately to the hamper. Nothing work-related enters the bedroom. These small disciplines, done consistently, create massive transformation over time. The sages teach that the person you become is determined by your daily habits, not your occasional actions. I want you to understand something fundamental about what you're doing when you transform your bedroom. You're not simply moving objects around. You're reprogramming your subconscious and realigning your soul with divine abundance. For years, perhaps decades, you've slept surrounded by energies that programmed you for scarcity. Every night, without knowing it, you absorbed messages of blockage, of limitation, of stagnation. When you cleanse your bedroom of these problematic objects, you're breaking that programming. You're creating a space that programs you for abundance instead of poverty, for expansion instead of contraction, for blessing instead of curse. Your subconscious is extraordinarily receptive during sleep. What surrounds you while you sleep becomes part of you. If scarcity surrounds you, you absorb scarcity. If space and flow surround you, you absorb space and flow. Prosperity, as the Jewish people have understood for millennia, isn't just about working hard. It's about being energetically aligned with abundance. It's about removing the blockages, both internal and external, that prevent the flow of Shefa, divine bounty. And that alignment begins in the space where you spend 1/3 of your life. Prosperous people, whether they know these rules consciously or not, intuitively create bedrooms conducive to rest. They feel what works. Now you also have that knowledge, consciously and practically. Your bedroom is your sanctuary. It's where you regenerate to face each new day. It deserves to be treated with the respect and attention you would give to the most sacred space of your life, because that's exactly what it is. In Jewish thought, the home is called a mikdash me'at, a miniature sanctuary. And the bedroom is the holy of holies within that sanctuary. Now you have all the knowledge you need. 7 objects to remove, a step-by-step plan, stories of people who did this and transformed their lives. The question is, will you do it? You can think this is interesting, close this video, and keep sleeping in the same problematic bedroom. Many people will do exactly that. They'll keep waking up tired. They'll keep struggling with money. They'll keep asking why life is so hard. Or you can decide that this week, you transform your bedroom, that you remove the problematic objects, that you create a true sanctuary of rest and prosperity. The decision is yours. But remember, every night you sleep in a toxic bedroom is another night of negative programming. Every week you postpone is 7 more nights of subconscious sabotage. The rabbis teach that the best time to do teshuvah, to return and make things right, was yesterday. The second best time is now. Before I close, I ask 3 things of you. First, write in the comments how many of the 7 objects you currently have in your bedroom. Be honest. Your honesty can help others who don't dare admit their situation. Your testimony might be exactly what someone else needs to take action. Second, subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell. Every week we share knowledge about how to transform your space, your mind, and your prosperity according to ancient Jewish wisdom that has sustained our people through every challenge. Don't miss any video, because each one contains keys to unlock blessings that have been waiting for you. Third, share this video with someone who constantly complains about not being able to sleep well or about chronic financial problems. Perhaps their bedroom is the problem and they don't know it. This video could be exactly what they need. And one final reminder before we finish. That resource I mentioned, 15 Jewish Wealth Codes, Enrichment Strategies of the Jewish People, is waiting for you in the first pinned comment below. Don't sleep on this. The wisdom contained in that compilation has been tested across thousands of years. It's helped Jewish families not just survive but thrive in every circumstance. These aren't theories, they're proven practices. Get the resource now. Your future self will thank you. Remember, your bedroom programs you every night. From now on, you decide what programming you receive. You decide whether you'll sleep in spiritual darkness or spiritual light. You decide whether your space will drain you or restore you. You decide whether abundance will have room to enter or will be blocked by objects you never realized were barriers. Thank you for being part of this journey of transformation. May Hashem bless you with restful sleep, with clarity of mind, with opportunities that flow effortlessly, and with prosperity that honors both you and the divine source from which all blessing comes. Baruch Hashem. Blessed is the name. And if you want to complement the transformation of your bedroom, in the next video, I'll reveal the 5 objects you should have in your room to multiply the attraction of abundance while you sleep. They're simple objects that create a field of prosperity around your bed. Objects that our ancestors knew about and that modern people have forgotten. Don't miss it. Until next time. Shalom and abundant blessings.